Hello, grade 7. How are you today? Before we start, I want you to open your student books, page 119. Page 119. Our lesson today is reading. Today we have a reading lesson. Now, I want you to look at the picture and guess or tell me, what do you see in this picture? What do you see in this picture? For me, I can see a man in a river. He is very wet. He has a water bottle. I think this man must be an expert on survival on dangerous places. This is what I think about this man. So now let's start reading so we can know what the picture is about. Number 1, work with a partner. What can you see in the photo? We said about what we can see in the photo here. Do you know anything about this man? His name is Bear Grylls. If so, what? This is a man. His name is Bear Grylls. So this is the name of this man. His name is Bear Grylls. Let's continue. Read 3 texts about Bear Grylls. Match the text and the text types. We have 3 texts here about this man. 1, 2, 2, and 3. We are going to read these texts and know each text about what. We have 3 main titles for this text. Text number 1, 2, and 3. We want to guess each text for which one of these. A. An internet review of a Bear Grylls DVD, or B. Part of the biography of Bear Grylls, or C. An advert for a novel by Bear Grylls. Advert here like an adventure or something written about the adventure. So we want to know each one of these about what. Each text. Let's start with text number 1. Let's start reading. Bear Grylls was born in 1974. In the 1990s, he was in the British SAS, which means Special Air Service, but he had a bad accident. He jumped from a plane and his parachute didn't work. He broke his back in 3 places and was in hospital for a long time. But after that, he became the youngest British man to climb Everest. He was just 23. Later, he started making a TV series about how to survive in extreme conditions. 1.2 billion people worldwide watched the series Man vs. Wild. Now let's start explaining this text. What do you think this text about? Look, they are saying about Bear Grylls. When was he born? He was born in 1974. And what he did in the 1990s? We said that he was in the British SAS. SAS is the abbreviation of Special Air Service. But he had an accident. What was the accident that Bear Grylls had? He jumped from a plane and his parachute didn't work. Imagine that he jumped from the plane, his parachute didn't work, and he hit the floor. What happened to him? Look at the pronoun. He refers to whom? Yes, it refers to Bear Grylls. He broke his back in 3 places. So 3 places were broken in his back and was in hospital for a long time. He stayed in the hospital for a long time. After that, he became the youngest British man to climb Everest. So this is a very great thing that he did. He climbed Everest. So he was the youngest British. So where is he from? He is from Britain. Look at the superlative adjective here. Can you see the superlative? The youngest British man to climb Everest. He was just 23. So when he climbed Everest, how was he? How old was he? He was 23 years old. Later, he started making a TV series about how to survive in extreme conditions. He started his own TV series about how to stay alive and continue living in very hard and difficult conditions. 1.2 billion people worldwide watched the series. Look at the large amount of people who watched that famous series. It was 1.2 billion people. What was the name of that TV series? Man versus Wild, as it is written here. Man versus Wild. So after we talked about this, what do you think this text is about? Is it about an internet review of a Bear Grylls DVD or part of the biography of a Bear Grylls? Yes, it's a biography. We said that the biography is about the life of someone. So, text number 1 is B. It's about what? It's about the biography of Bear Grylls. Now, let's go to number 2. Number 2 text. Let's start reading. This must be Bear's best program yet. He fights an alligator in Louisiana and wins. And he comes face to face with a bear in the forests of Transylvania. But his biggest problem comes from a simple bee in Mexico. The bee stings him on his face and he can't see anything because he can't open his eyes. Later, he jumps down waterfalls. So this is what happened to him. I hope Bear isn't going to stop making brilliant programs like this one. So we said that this must be Bear's best program yet. Look what happened in this program. Why it's the best one? Because in this program, he fights an alligator in Louisiana. Imagine that a man fights an alligator and he wins. And he comes face to face with a bear in the forest of Transylvania. So the forests that were in Transylvania, he stands up in front of a bear face to face. He is so brave to do this. His biggest problem, look, the biggest problem comes from a simple bee. The problem wasn't from the big things here, the big animals. It came from a simple bee in Mexico. He went to Mexico and a simple bee stings him on his face. It stings him on his face that he couldn't open his eyes and he couldn't see anything because he couldn't open his eyes. And later, he jumps down waterfalls. You know the waterfalls. These are the waterfalls. He jumped from the waterfalls. The waterfalls in real, they are very high. So he jumped from the waterfalls. I hope Bear isn't going to stop making brilliant programs like this one. They hope that he is going to make these brilliant and so amazing things that he do. So what do you think this text is about? Look at the frame of the text here. Where do you think this text was taken from? Look at an internet review of a Bear Grylls DVD. So he has a DVD and This is from the internet review because look at the frame here. It's taken from the internet and it's about the DVD. So we write here letter A. Now let's read paragraph number 3. Let's start. In this incredible story, Pick Granger and his friend Peter join Uncle Al for a holiday in Africa. They have no idea that they are going to find themselves in the middle of an adventure in the Sahara Desert. They discover a secret criminal organization and have to jump out of a plane over the desert. It isn't going to be easy to survive. They must find their way back, but first they have to survive snakes, scorpions, and the hot sun. This is a great African adventure which includes real survival details. What are Bick and Peter going to do? Read it or miss all the excitement. So, let's start from the beginning in this incredible story. So, this text is about a story. Bick Granger and his friend Peter. These are the characters of this story. What they did, they joined Uncle Al for a holiday in Africa. So they had a holiday in Africa. They went in a holiday in Africa. They are Peter and Bick Granger. They have no idea that they are going to find themselves in the middle of an adventure. Adventure is an exciting and unusual and dangerous trip. So they went on holiday, but they found themselves in an adventure in the desert, in the Sahara Desert. This is the name of the desert. It's Sahara Desert. And they discover a secret criminal organization. It's a very big organization that do many crimes and it's a secret. No one knows about this organization. So they have to jump out of a plane over the desert. So this is a summary for the story. They jump out of a plane over the desert. It isn't going to be easy to survive. It's so hard for them to survive and stay alive in these conditions. So they must find their way back. They must find their way back after they jump from the plane. But first, they have to survive snakes. So they have to fight the snakes, scorpions, and the most important, the hot sun, which makes you so tired. This is a great African adventure. So this adventure is African because it happens in Africa, which includes real survival details. So he wrote a story or a novel and he put some real survival details that you can learn how to survive if you were in these conditions. What are Bick and Peter going to do? Read it or miss all the excitement. So if you didn't read this, you would miss all the excitement and all the things that are in this story or this novel. So what the text is about? What do you think this text is about? Look, it's an advert for a novel by Bear Grylls. So this man wrote a novel about an African adventure. So you should write here C, text 3 about C. Now, to understand these texts better and better, we are going to answer these questions. Read the texts again. Are the sentences true or false? Write the number of the lines where you find the answer. So I will write the number of the line here for you that we find the answer in. Look, number 1. Bear Grylls had a bad accident in an airplane. Is it true or false? Let's go back to number 1 text and find. Look, we said that he had a bad accident. So, is it correct or not? Is it true or false? So, this is line number what? This is line number 3. He had an accident. He jumped from a plane and his parachute didn't work. So from line 3 to line 5, he broke his back in 3 places and was in hospital for a long time. This is the answer. So the answer is true. And the lines from 3 to 5. These are the lines. Let's continue. Number 2. Bear Grylls was 20 when he climbed the highest mountain in the world. What is the highest mountain in the world? It's the Everest. So how old was he? Look, we said that here he was 23. So the answer is false. And what's the number of this line? 1, 2, 3. This is 5, 6, 7. So it's line number 7. We put false here and we write line number 7 here. Let's continue. Number 3. In one of his TV programs, an insect creates more problems for him than a bear. Is it true or false? Let's go to text number 2. Look, his biggest problem comes from a simple bee in Mexico. The bee stings him on his face and he can't see anything because he can't open his eyes. So all this is the answer from, this is the number of the line, from line number 6 to line number 10. And the answer is true. And the lines are from 6 to 10 lines. This is 7th line. Okay, now let's go to question number 4. Pick Granger and his friend go to Africa because they want an adventure. Did they really want an adventure, or there was another purpose for their trip? What do you think? Look to 3. In this incredible story, Pick Granger and his friend Peter join Uncle Al for a holiday in Africa. So the answer is in line number 2. This is the answer. So it's false because they didn't want an adventure. They just wanted a holiday. And it's from paragraph 3, number 2. This is number 2 line. Line 2. Okay. Number 5. In the novel, there are ideas for how to live through difficult situations in real life. Is it true or false? In the novel, there are ideas for how to live through difficult situations in real life. Let's find the answer. Look, it's a great African adventure which includes here real survival details. So from number 10 to number 11, lines from 10 to 11, and the answer is true. Look here, lines from 10 to 11, and the answer is true. So these are the answers of these questions like this. And let me write the number of the text. We took this answer from text number 1. This is from text number 1. This is from text number 2. This is from text number 3. And this is also from text number 3. Now, let's do this exercise. Match the underlined words in the text with these definitions. We have the definitions and we want to know the underlined words with their meanings. Number 1, hits and kicks. Which one? Let's start from the beginning. Is it parachute? No. Is it survive? No. Is it extreme? No. Is it fights? Yes, it's the word fights. So the word fights means hits and kicks. So we write here the word fights. Number 2, an exciting, unusual, and sometimes dangerous trip. Is it parachute? No. Is it survive? No. Extreme? No. Fights? We found it. Adventure? Yes, it's an adventure. So we write here the word adventure. Adventure means an exciting, unusual, and sometimes dangerous trip. Adventure. Very unusual and difficult. Something that is very unusual and difficult. We say that it's extreme. Extreme means very unusual and difficult. So we write the word extreme here. Extreme. Number 4, continue living in difficult conditions. This is the word. It's the word survive. The word survive means to continue living in difficult conditions. So we write here the word survive. Number 5, large piece of cloth that is used by someone jumping out of a plane. Anyone who jumps in a plane, he wears something that is called parachute. This is the word parachute. So we write here parachute like this. Shoot. And the last one, fail to take advantage of a chance. When you fail to take the advantage of a chance, we say that you miss that thing. You miss that thing. So we write the word miss here. These are the answers of these questions. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Please, grade 7, practice reading these texts and record your voice for me and send it to me, please. And answer this question 2, 3, and 4 on your books. Take a photo for them and send them to me, please. Have a nice day, grade 7.